So today I spent my day in the small country of Andorra. Here it's located in the Pyrenees Mountains between France and Spain. So it borders both of those countries, and they speak Catalan, which is like a separate language, but it's related to Spanish and it sounds a lot like Castilian Spanish. It's similar to it, but it's its own separate language. But they like understand French and Spanish, like standard Spanish as well. So if you're here, you can get by with either of those languages. Yeah, the country is really small in population and size. The population is a little under 90,000, and it's only about 181 square square miles. Sorry, I'm getting my kilometers and miles mixed up. In today's video, you're just going to see me go to the Old Town Center. I went to the Church of St. Stephen, briefly visit a cultural center, which isn't technically open to the public, but they have a few displays to look at. I spoke to a woman there about the country, made a little brief conversation. I didn't put that on the video because I don't put personal conversations like that. I don't know. I just don't like filming people without their consent, or if I don't compensate them in some way. So I don't post that stuff. So all my videos are like me just talking. So that's all I'm gonna get unless I figure out a way to collaborate with people in the future. Um, and after that, I kind of wandered around the shopping area. So if you're into shopping, you'll love Andorra. It's kind of like a tax-free shopping mall. So they have everything you want to buy. For the size of the country, they have a lot of shopping here. And then I went to Merichel out in a village about 10 miles outside the capital here. And it's really beautiful. It's definitely a place of solitude, beauty, silence, and prayer. So if you need a place to just connect with nature and yeah, and just be in a spiritual place, I think that's a very good spot. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think it kind of just gives you a little taste of the country, but it is a very beautiful place, and for the size of it, it just seems bigger than it is. I think it's just a lot of mountains, a lot of nature packed in a small area. So enjoy. All right, so I'm staying here at the Hotel Diplomatic. It's not much to look like from the outside, but it's actually pretty nice on the inside. Really reasonable prices. I have like a room to myself, my own shower and everything. After staying in hostels and stuff, it's just like, oh, it feels so good to have your own space, just like your own private, quiet, comfortable, clean space that doesn't have like any sort of odors or anything to it. And I'm right next to McDonald's, my favorite European restaurant. McDonald's, always here. So I got my lunch ready for tomorrow before I catch the bus. So actually, McDonald's works out when I do my McDonald's bit. Um, it works out like right before I get the bus because I get the food quick, and then I can knock out my little like price comparison bit. So it's perfect. I've kind of gotten used to that. So, but yeah, it's a nice little spot. A little bit of road noise now that it's like busy, but it dies down at night, so it's not too bad. But look at the how beautiful it is back there. The mountains, so nice. Kind of reminds me of New Mexico, like the mountain background. All right, so this country, I was looking up some of the stats online. The population is only 80,000, 80 and 90,000 people. Less than 90,000, I'll say that. Somewhere between 80 and 90,000. And a lot of people are moving in here because they have a interesting taxation scheme. So I think it's basically very low taxes. And they seem to have really cheap food here and cheap cigarettes. So I've noticed they sell like bricks of cigarettes here. It's kind of crazy. So I was like, if you're a smoker, this is the country for you. But yeah, a lot of people are moving in here to basically dodge taxes, I think. So you see like construction of these towers like everywhere. So I think they're increasing the amount of residents and people living in here. But there isn't much like available land for because most of the land that's habitable is in this like narrow valley, and the rest of it's like mostly mountainous or really high up like plateaus, which are really cold and inhospitable. All right, so on the other side of this building, behind the Musée DC Lab Andorra is like the old town, so that's where the old church and stuff is. So I'm gonna go check that out first. So yeah, there's like a lot of. I guess this would be described as like a brutalist, probably like 70s. So the building, yeah. All right, looks like I've made it to the old part of town. It's about a 5 minute walk, so from where I was before. And here's the old church. So it's kind of funny, like the main bishop over like the Catalonia like area is also one of the princes of Andorra, along with the French president. So President Macron of France is technically a prince too. So you could tell everybody it's like I am now a prince of royalty. So if you ever get elected king of France, you or not king of France, president of France, you also become a prince. The interior of the church. There's a lot of like noise. So I think they're doing some construction. Actually, I think they're working on the organ. Oh, this one has the digital offering. I'll do a couple. There's the little input. Oh, there it is. See one an extra one go there. Stick it in there. There's two more. Yeah, so this I've seen this picture like everywhere. I like this statue. All right, so I saw the cathedral here in town, the main one, and now I have my croissants and my caffeine. And luckily, if you look outside, all the tourists just came in. So I'm like, yes, I beat them to it. All right, so I'm headed to the cultural center here in Andorra. So what the streets look like here. I think it's about 10 o'clock and it's pretty quiet. I think things are barely starting to open up now. So now that that's happening, I don't really feel bad about sleeping in. All right, so I'm in the cultural center here in Andorra, La Vella, the capital. And here's the Andorran flag, actually. look at it. Here's the symbol. Kind of similar to the Romanian flag, I think. It's like same colors, but it has like a center badge in it. All right, so I spoke to like this really warm woman there that was in France. She kind of, we were just talking about Andorra and how the culture's changing here, the whole globalization push and everything like that, and how, so I guess these are all like traditional dress, but yeah, like it's a problem here with people who are doing like remote work and they're not really integrating into the local culture and everything, and they're just, yeah, they're building all these like ugly apartments everywhere, kind of destroying everything. But that's life. I guess we just move forward. So if you're the sort of person who lives for duty-free shopping, Andorra would be the place for you. This place is full of places to stock up on cigarettes, coffee, alcohol, clothing, like little electronic doodads. There's even an AliExpress here. I've never actually have like physical stores. I'm actually kind of curious what's in there. But yeah, just, oh yeah, makeup, fragrances, like all that stuff. So kind of curious, interesting. All right, so yeah, this part of the city really does feel like a shopping mall or something for sure. Just like, so if you're really into shopping, then this is your city. Look, it's just like, it's really cool though. I mean, like, it's a cool piece of public art there. Interesting. But yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Andorra, look at that. Now this river is pretty quick. All right, so I went on a little side mission to look for a post office, and they have the Spanish Correos. So I get my like postage card stamps now, and then I think I head out to Medichel. So I'm gonna get out of this consumer hellscape and go get some nature. All right, so I'm headed back to the bus station to try to catch a bus to Medichel. So I think I'm gonna be taking one of these yellow buses here. So I need L3, I think. So there's only 6 lines, and they all converge down here at the bus station. The 6 lines cover the whole country. I'll just do my research. But I think I gotta buy the ticket on the bus, or I could get one from the station. It might be easier just to get one on the bus. So I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, it's like the most interesting bus area. So like a stream running right through the station, technically. All right, so I need to look for L3 and L4. Either of those will get me to Merit Shell, the sanctuary there. That's my goal for today. So I just gotta wait. It says on the map it's like every 20 to 30 minutes for either of those ones, so could be here any minute now. They said I could pay on the bus too, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so this is L4, so let's see when else the bus driver if it goes to Merit Shell. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's taking off. We'll see. All right, so I figured it out. It's like costing like €4 round trip. So I got I pay cash though. So I was like kind of fumbling around with my money, and I was like, oh, I was like, but it worked out. So I'm just waiting here. I'm still here at the bus station. I don't know. It should only take like 20 minutes to get there. So hopefully we get some good views. All right, we're passing by my hotel. There she is. Right, I think I got on the wrong side of the bus. The other side is like way more scenic, but hit up the good side next time. I also have to pay attention and get off the right stop because I don't want to miss my stop. Yeah. All right, so I got off the bus stop here at this roundabout, and now I have to do a quick little walk up to Medichel, probably like 10 minutes. It's a lot faster. It's only 2 minutes in a car. Maybe it's longer. I don't know, 15. But there's no way I could have walked that. This country is way too mountainous. But and there's still like snow up here. It'd be cool to come hiking out here if I had more time. But this probably isn't the time of year to do that. This place would probably be perfect for like July maybe, where it's like warmer and the snow's melted. This would probably be the best place like August, honestly. Everyone goes to the beach from like the beach is probably best like in June or like September. Yeah, like check that out. It's just beautiful. All right, so I'm here in the village of Maricelle. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly at all, but I will look it up and correct myself from the beginning. Oh, there's a bar. But it's really cute here. I love this like rock. I don't know if it's like complete rock building or just facade or what, but it is beautiful. All right, I've arrived at the sanctuary. It looks pretty interesting architecture. It looks like you could just drive through there. So it's kind of crazy. It's a beautiful area though. I don't know how you enter it. All right, so now I'm headed to the Welcome Center. Yeah, look at this stone building now. It's incredible. Yeah, those arches are interesting. Supposedly this was rebuilt in the 70s because it had burned down. It's kind of like a relatively new building by European standards. It's like gorgeous. So you can see all this stuff is written in Catalan. Kind of interesting. Yeah, I went to the post office earlier and I was trying to use Google Translate for the Catalan here because I didn't know. But I guess like Spain and France, they both have post offices in this country because Andorra doesn't have post offices. And they spoke, luckily it was manned by Spanish people, so I was like, I don't know how to speak Catalan. So they spoke Castellano, so I was able to speak to them in Spanish. Yeah, it's really pretty. I wonder if this used to be the cathedral bit. I don't know. I probably should have gotten a guide, but looks cool. Clouds are really pretty too. Yeah, it's really interesting. Just the lines here, the colors. Check out the little church in here. So it sounds like the site dates back to the 12th century. And some of the stuff that's left over from the fire. That's awful. like really quiet. I'm really lucky to have this space to myself. And here's another view of the church from this angle. I guess it's kind of old chapel now. But yeah, I love the stone construction here. I'm like really inspired to like want to build something out of stone. These homes are just so cool. I think it's like more of the village where people live. Yeah, so I'm like climbing the top here. Try not to fall. Yeah, it's incredible to be in a place like this all by myself. Well, somebody's working, I guess. But this is like really, really beautiful. Another view here. God, snow. Looks like that area is closed. Yeah, this is all like construction area. Here's like another egg over here. So this is a symbol of Andorra right here. I see this image everywhere. This place is like a hall of mirrors. It's kind of cool. Depictions of like the outside. God, it looks such a pretty place. Yeah, this is a really pretty place. Definitely this time of year, if you need some solitude and some spiritual cleansing, this would be a nice place to visit. It's really quiet and serene. All right, so at this point, I was coming up to some baby horses and my mic cut off, but I don't really think I was saying a whole lot. Yeah, they were just really cute, and it kind of brought me back to whenever I was in Spain. I think when we were there, like during the Camino de Santiago in 2024, that there was a ton of animals having babies at that point. I think we caught the calving season. There's like a ton of baby calves. There's a bunch of baby horses, goats, sheep, just all the different types of animals. Yeah, I think I was just continue on gushing about how cute that whole scene was right there. Just watching the baby horses sleep. It was really nice. It was really sweet. I don't know. I grew up on a farm, so seeing the animals like that kind of brings me back to my childhood when we used to have like a bunch of animals and stuff. It's really nice. But yeah, I had no sound there. My mic had cut off and I didn't realize it until I got on the bus. But yeah, here I was just commenting how beautiful the whole scenery was in this area, just coming down from the hill, because the bus doesn't actually drop you off in Merichel. You have to like walk up. It's probably about maybe like a 15-minute walk. It's not bad. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Then when I got to this point, I was just like contemplating on how I'm gonna actually get on the bus, because I was like, does the bus actually do like a little loop-de-loop around like the roundabout and come pick you back up in the same spot it drops you off? And it actually did, so it all worked out. And it was funny because the bus driver happened to be the same bus driver that sold me the ticket, so it was just like, cool, I just gave him back the ticket he just sold me, and it was like perfect. It worked out perfectly. Yeah, so I was just kind of, at this point, I was just really worried. I'm like, please stop, please stop. And it kind of worked out perfectly because I caught the bus like right when I got down to this point, so it just worked out great for me. Honestly, I couldn't ask for better timing on that. Except my mic ran out of power, so we're going off the phones, my audio, so I apologize. There's a lift here. All right, so I'm calling it a day. I'm heading back to my hotel. Basically kind of explored old part of Andorra, La Vella, the capital, this morning, a little bit of the town, and then I went to the Sanctuary Merichel, kind of experienced a little bit of solitude, nature, some quiet. And yeah, this place is really pretty. You can see a little bit of the mountains and nature here on the bus tour, but right for the noise, it's too loud. End the video, bye!